Oh, we got an email from Ivor Began. He's asking, how did you get your nickname?
Ivor Biggin, yeah, Ivor Biggin. I went to school with a guy, Sean, and like he always used to boast, I got a biggin, and it was like, oh, I don't know, high school, when he got his first girlfriend, and I met up with her after they'd gone out on a couple of dates, and she goes, he certainly wasn't an Ivor Biggin, he was more like Billy the Kid. He could pull it out of his holster really quick and get off a shot in 5 seconds flat. So anyway, what was the question? I've rambled already. How did I get my nickname? Okay, nickname. Well, my first competition I did, I was, what was I? I wasn't even grade 1, I was 4. And they had to put me in the Mr. Teen, because like teenagers were the youngest they had. So they put me in the Mr. Teen. And obviously I won. I beat guys who were like 19 and I was only 4. They were on juice and I was just on orange juice. And at the end of it, like, everybody was pretty amazed that I won, and like everybody knows me for having big forearms and big biceps and all the rest of it. But like at that stage when I was only 4, I had really big lats. And they used to like think like I looked like a bat. So they used to call me Blondie. Oh, hang on, no, not Blondie, that was a band. The Blonde Nymph, that's what it was. And not because it was a nympho, because nymphs were those little angels that used to hang out in the ponds with great big wings. So they used to call me the Blonde Nymph. Hey guys, we're back down here in the chicken coop. Today we're going to finish off some more of our gym gear. We're going to do a squat rack. Everybody knows how important squats are. So I've already done one, just to save ourselves time. You guys are falling asleep watching my videos apparently. So we're going to attach that to the back of our bench. And obviously we'll pick the weight up off here. Squat down here is our safety. We come back and when we finish we're going to put it back up here onto our invisible hook. I call it invisible because we're saving money, we're saving timber. Just going to hang it there off a sky hook. Okay, so this is actually one full side of the bed, unchanged, uncut, exactly as it was, and that's the cross part, the width of the single bed, uncut. So always trying to keep it simple for you guys. Simple's my middle name. Sorry, cameraman. I should have prepared these earlier. One full length of the bed, one side of the bed. Somebody who's like, I'm 85% body fat, somebody who was 95% body fat bent that. It wasn't my bed. Then we need 2 of these slats that I prepared earlier and have previously lost. There we go. They're the slats that used to be on the bed. That used to go this way. I'm really lucky because mine had screws in it. But if yours are nailed on, or they're just sit freely on the bed and rattle whenever you're doing any sort of bedtime gymnastics, then those screwed ones are really good. So I've got to make my one opposite to the previous one I've got. I'm going to go like this. That's not my best angle. So we're just going to attach that to there. We'll worry about squaring it up later. Get some of your glue. You all thought it was damn hilarious how I was walking around half a video with glue splattered over my leg. Lousy cameraman didn't bother telling me about it. So he didn't get paid that week.
Oh.
Like I said, these are screwed on. So we'll use our electric hammer. This is the width again. It's got a bend in it. Shouldn't really bother us. So, just a little insight into myself, how I got into weight training. I was born about, you'd call it mid-1960s, I guess. So I'm probably a little bit younger than most people viewing this channel. You guys are all in your 20s. I'm a little bit younger than you. And even going to school till today, I can never remember a day that I was actually happy. So they never knew what depression was when I was a kid. People just said, you know, oh, it's just not a happy person, you know. But nowadays, they're pretty willing to give that card away to just about anybody. Everybody's depressed or got anxiety, ADD, all the rest of it. We all got something. So, when I was 10, when my parents had had enough of me being bullied at school, picked on physically, verbally, even in those days too, the teachers used to bully kids. Ask your grandparents about it, they'll tell you. And they'd had enough of it, so they enrolled me into Taekwondo, which you know is martial art. All I'm going to do now is, instead of using a tape measure, I'm just going to measure our height off this. So it's the same height. And we'll come up here to the same height. Put a mark, so that's our top. And it's a small town. 5,000 people in the direct town, 4,000 people in the outside community, farming community. And basically the instant I got enrolled in martial arts was the end of my bullying altogether. It just stopped just like that. Martial arts was a really big thing at the time. We're talking middle of 1970. Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, those guys were all over the place on our black and white TV, because we didn't have a colour TV back then. You guys probably never seen a black and white TV, but such is life. So that was basically the end of my bullying. I do remember maybe 12, 11, somewhere there, I was playing football. We were playing against a school team, school football, and we were playing against an opposing school, and the captain of my own team had enough of people running away from me in football rather than coming at me, and I was tackling them because, you know, they knew who I was. I was really good at martial arts. I wasn't just average, I was good. And he got sick of that because he was the captain of the team, and he thought he was a big man. He was at least twice the size of me. I was a skinny runt kid, really skinny. And he grabbed me in a bear hug from behind, and it just instantly, I just grabbed his hand, got out of the hug and twisted it over, and he was bent over like this. And I didn't even think about it at the time, but I just kicked him like that, straight up into his ribs. And I broke 2 of his ribs, and he left the school in an ambulance. And I probably got to say, that was the best day of my life, and the worst at the same time. I obviously got into all the trouble. It was all my fault, according to the school. Got suspended for 2 weeks, I believe it was, which was a long time in those days. But as you can imagine, I never ever got picked on at school again. So instead of being respected as a person, I was feared. And if you can't get respected, then, you know, at the time I thought being feared was a pretty good second place. So then, I don't know, all the way through high school, most of it, I got better and better at martial arts. I'd enter competitions, and do exceptionally well. I was really good at digging down deep to where all that hate and anger was buried down in me from years and years of being bullied. And I was really good at digging into that and just putting people flat on their bottoms, you know. Not altogether proud of it, but it was a heck of a lot better than being bullied. Heck of a lot. Martial arts career came to an end. I got kicked in the knee and I had to go to the gym for rehab, and gyms were basically non-existent. We're talking maybe early 80s, 1980, 1981, something like that. And I found that instead of working out my anger and hate on people, I could work it out on gym gear. So I dedicated myself to that every time the gym was open, I was there and I was working out. And I got known as one of those people who was like, you know, you just stayed away from me when I was in the gym because like I was that intense. You know, it didn't matter what you put in front of me, I wanted to lift it even if I shouldn't. Again, yeah, not really proud of it, but you know, I worked out all of that anger that life was giving me. I worked it out at the gym, and I started to see that people were like, you know, more friendly towards me, whereas martial arts, I had to prove myself. Whereas in the gym, when I was walking around younger, a lot bigger than I am now, I just got instant respect just because of my size. And I'm not saying that that's the way you should be, but I know those guys who are really skinny and getting picked on, they're at school, and they haven't got the courage to go to a gym because like they think everybody's going to make fun of them, and they think, you know, I'm not going to be able to, you know, lift any weights, that anyone's going to take me serious and stuff. Well, that's what this is all about, guys. You build your gym at home, you get yourself started, you build up your frame, you build up your confidence, you go to the gym, and you're going to make some friends there. You know, you're starting off on the bottom level at the gym. You know, you're with the guys who are just, you know, you're just getting started. You're starting to put on some size. You're not the skinny kid anymore, but you're not the biggest guy in the gym. You're not the guy everyone looks up to. But you know, if that's what you want to be, then you set your mind and you get there. So this making a gym at home for the skinny guy who doesn't want to get picked on anymore, this is what you need to do until you've got the confidence to be able to hammer a nail in without bending it over. Practice makes perfect, eh? Then that's what you do if you only got hammer or nails, guys. I'm one step up in the world today because I want to build quite a strong squat rack. So I'm going to put screws into it. Just like weight training, you've got to start somewhere. Nails and a hammer. Then when you can get yourself some screws and a drill, you start putting screws into it. You are where you are, and you make do with that. So I'll stop talking for a bit because my cameraman, when he edits this, he's going to speed it up. So anything I say to you is just going to be edited out. So guys, instead of being like me, where the only way you thought you could get respect was by fighting your way into it and making people scared of you, if you walk around and you've got a little bit of muscle and you got a little bit of confidence from bodybuilding. People give you that respect. You don't have to fight your way to it. They just give it to you. So here we are. We've got two opposites. We've got two more parts of the bed frame over here. These are what we're going to use for our supports up the back to go across from one to the other. Same thing down the bottom. We're going to put them across the bottom, and what we'll end up is obviously one there, one like that, and we've got a squat rack. I'll just show you how to set these up. These are where your bar is going to sit. The bar is going to sit into this groove here. The bar is going to sit into the groove here, and you're going to squat it off. So if you see, if I set it up there, I'm going to have to stand on a block to get it off. So there, for my height, that's probably a really good height. So just stand beside it when you're going to set it up. We'll put that down on the ground. You put your glue on. Don't use nails unless you have to, that's all you've got. Use screws because that's actually got to hold 300 pound, 200 pound, 100 pound, whatever you're squatting. But guys, if you need confidence and a reason to get out of bed because you've got really bad depression, this weight training is really the answer, and it has been for me for a long time. Like I said, I was born in the middle of the 1960s, and I've made it all this far, and I really can't remember a day that I really wanted to get out of bed. But the fact that I had something to do, something to achieve, even if it was just in the gym, that's enough to keep me going. So I'm going to sign out here. Hopefully you enjoy this video. You're going to click like and you're going to subscribe, and we can talk a lot more. Possibly something I've got to say will help you. Possibly something you've got to say to me will help me. So I'll keep going as long as you stick by me. So lift weights, live life.
Is this a blooper?
You reckon we can get that down to 15 or it's 20?